Hello, I'm Robert Kelly, and this is a Record All Monsters quick look at DINOSAURUS. To start with, I didn't grow up with this movie. I first encountered it on TV late one night when I was about 20 years old. And what I saw was a little Hispanic boy and a caveman riding a brontosaurus through a tropical jungle. I sat through the rest of the movie, my eyes wide with wonder and blurry with fatigue, to the point that I actually thought I had dreamed this movie. Years later, I discovered that I had not dreamed this movie. Amazon continually recommended the Blu-ray to me, but I didn't connect the dots until I stumbled upon it on TV again. And this time I was alert enough to notice the little thing in the corner of the screen saying, "You're watching DINOSAURUS on Get TV." And then it was like a bomb went off in my brain. So now, let's talk about DINOSAURUS, a movie whose title ends with an exclamation point. In what I think is supposed to be an island in the Mexican Caribbean, some white guys find a frozen T-Rex and brontosaurus in an icy channel beneath the sea, and also a caveman. But one of the local tough guys named Mike Hacker, who has a German kind of sounding accent, hides it for himself to make money somehow. Anyway, all three prehistoric creatures get revived when they're struck by lightning, and the T-Rex eats a drunk Irishman in a scene that I think was an influence on Jurassic Park's lawyer's death. The most important thing about this movie is that the caveman and a little Hispanic boy named Julio become best friends over bananas and a glass of milk. They then go for a ride on the back of the brontosaurus. Nothing else matters. Okay, that's not entirely true. The other important thing is that we have an old friend returning to the show in this movie behind the scenes, Marcel Delgado, who, though uncredited in the film itself, created the dinosaur models in only 3 weeks, after the studio told him he had 6 weeks, and then said, "Excuse me, Marcel, where are my dinosaurs?" It's nice to see his work again, but the truth is, you've seen his work everywhere. Not only did he build the creatures from movies we've talked about like King Kong and The Lost World, but he did miniature work on The Wizard of Oz, War of the Worlds, Disney's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's a mad, 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 mad world, and Fantastic Voyage. In 1949, he built the armature for Mighty Joe Young, just like he did with King Kong and his monstrous menagerie of Skull Island residents. Just a few years after Dinosaurus, Delgado built the bird props for Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, as well as various special effects props for Mary Poppins. I already spoke at length in our King Kong episode about why Delgado's involvement in that film meant so much to me, but it's nice to see that he was a part of my life for longer than I'd ever imagined. The dinosaurs here aren't his best work, but they do look pretty cool, all things considered. And this movie is a lot of fun, even if it is a little iffy on its portrayal of the various ethnicities that populate the island. In addition to that, there are definitely scenes that you just know stayed in Steven Spielberg's mind because they seem to show up again in Jurassic Park, including the aforementioned T-Rex eating the Irishman, and a scene where the T-Rex chases and flips over a Jeep. All in all, I recommend this movie, even if it sits just slightly outside of our normal purview.
Rampaging in an unsuspecting world, living creatures from the dawn of time. What havoc will they wreak? What lives will they destroy? What depths of panic and terror will they create? DINOSAURUS, the most amazing, astounding, astonishing adventure of them all, beyond anything your mind can imagine, never before seen on the screen.
DINOSAURUS. I do encourage you to seek this one out. There's a great Blu-ray by Kino Lorber. I know I've always said I try not to just sell stuff that's not my merchandise, but the show's still young. I can change that. The Kino Lorber Blu-ray is beautiful. It has a great commentary and a little documentary about it that's very fun. Yeah, DINOSAURUS, I really recommend it. So, what we've got coming up in the future is next week we'll be talking with good friend of the show and returning guest Nathaniel Ross Smith about Konga. The what does the trailer say? Not since King Kong has there been such a spectacle. This movie is ridiculous and wonderful, and I love it. The week after that, we'll be having a monster mailbag. So if you want your questions answered, go ahead and send them on in. You can get us at recordallmonsterspod@gmail.com or find us on social media. We're at recordallmonsters.pod on Instagram, at Monsters Record on Twitter, and just search Record All Monsters Podcast on Facebook, and that'll take you straight to our page. Week after that, mailbag, I'm very excited to announce we have another very special guest. All of our guests are special, but we'll be talking to Chris from Gargantucast about Reptilicus, the second film in our quadrilogy of 1961 giant monster movies. It's the only giant monster movie from Denmark, and we had a lot of fun talking about that. And the week after that, I'm probably going to take another break unless there's something that just absolutely screams at me to be a quick look, which has happened before. But for the time being, I don't know. So that's it. Rondo nominations still not out, but I appreciate everyone who, did nominate us, and we'll see. I guess it was supposed to be last week, and we'll see this weekend. Don't forget about Kongzillathon, the episode for the 2005 Peter Jackson King Kong comes out, and you'll get to hear some exceptional frustrated grunting from me throughout that whole episode. You'll also get to hear a little song parody I wrote if you stick around all the way to the end. So that's it for now. See you next week when we talk about Konga with Nathaniel. And remember that monsters are your friends.